Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
Where do we go from there?
I don't know.
Aliens?
Yo.
Well, what can distract us?
Isn't that crazy? Well, I mean, I am glad that you support the octopus behind you because that's one of the only animals I won't eat because they are aliens, and I think there's no way they're not.
For anyone who's just listening to this and not watching the Zoom video that we're recording, I have a hanging on my wall of an octopus. There isn't an actual octopus behind me. Not that anyone would really think that I would have a real octopus behind me, but that would be fucking so cool because I've always wanted an octopus.
Yeah.
But I don't think they make great pets. My sister had cuttlefish and they used to ink the tank all the time and she had to clean the water. It was like a nightmare for her. So it would be a difficult pet to have.
Yeah. Also, it shouldn't be a pet. It should be a companion. Like, if I'm going to kick it with an octopus, that's not something I'm going to control or have any business controlling.
That's just your friend that you're lucky to have.
Yes,
Cool.
Exactly.
I met an octopus once. Have I ever told you that story?
How?
I was at a little aquarium in Seaside, Oregon, and they've got one of those great aquariums where it's just like local catch that the fishermen bring in. And there was an octopus in this amazing, huge tank in the middle of the room, and the place was just about to close. And the zoologist or biologist who was there could see that I was fascinated by the octopus. And so he said, do you want to feed it? And I got to feed the octopus a herring. I got to put my hand in the tank and it got its tentacle up on me. And did you know the suckers are taste buds? They actually taste with their tentacles.
I had no idea. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. So if you break down per arm, per sucker.
Yeah.
That's Chris Morocco, who we talk about in this episode.
Super taster.
Super taster.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, take a back seat. The octopus has got it. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they taste with those suckers, and so yeah, it was just a really.
So it was
cool experience.
tasting your hand as you fed it too.
Yes, and then the biologist was like, "You might not want to let him get a second tentacle on you," and he's kind of like disengaged me gently, and then the octopus took the herring, and I don't know. The whole situation was really cool, and it made me kind of never want to eat octopus again.
Can't do it. Can't fucking do it, man.
Yeah, I did when I was in Greece. I have to say, like, I couldn't pass up the Greek cuisine, but yeah, they're so cool.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be an asshole at a party, and they're like, "Our main course is this," and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you should have mentioned that," or like, you know,
yeah, well,
I'm gonna chow down if I gotta chow down.
The time when I had it, I went on this boat cruise that was like around the Antiparos, which was this little island, and we stopped in these like abandoned sheltered coves and dove off the boat, and they fed us octopus that they caught off the boat and stuff. And it was like, yeah,
I think I'd have to do it. I would have to do that.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. Like, if it was a sperm whale, I'd be like, yeah, I got to try that sperm whale. Like, I don't know what it's going to be, but if it's fresh from the ocean and then directly in my mouth, I'm putting it in my mouth.
Yeah, you got to try it.
Right?
Yeah. Most, I think there are a few things that I definitely couldn't put in my mouth, but octopus, I've always thought was delicious until I met that really cool one. So.
What's the thing that whale hairballs are?
What are you talking about?
You know how there's like whale hairballs?
They have whale hairballs.
Right, they vomit out like a hairball, but it's like a whale style one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think
they're
are you talking
big
about
lumps.
Ambergris, which is from sperm whales.
Yeah. So what is that? It's like a delicacy, but it's whale puke, right?
Well, ambergris was what was used in perfuming in the
That's what it was.
Back in the day. It was one of the very valuable things that whales were hunted for, along with the oil. Was that ambergris, which I think they used in perfume. Like back in Paris in the
crazy,
1700s,
man.
Whatever.
Lobsters are bugs that are just bottom dwellers that are delicacy.
Yeah.
Whale hairballs are perfume so that you can get your cool water proper and make it like meet someone special.
I mean, I think it's great that
whole plant, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want anyone to hunt whales anymore, but it is really cool that at that time they were just connected to the natural world in a way where they were like, making use of all of the things around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you know the other alien? Did you hear about the Pentagon?
Oh, yeah. That's okay. That's how we got on this whole
Yeah.
trip.
Okay, totally.
Okay.
Sorry. I've been smoking weed.
What are you smoking?
This.
Well, I know it's a joint, but
It's just
what is
like,
it?
I don't know, man.
This. It's like this half-smoked joint.
If I was ever an eyewitness to a murder, terrible key witness.
Yeah.
What did they look like? Oh man, crazy.
He had eyes,
long in places,
arms, legs,
knife, or maybe a gun. Rope?
Great. Nobody rely on Mike for eyewitness reports of anything, especially not the fucking weed you're smoking, which
This.
is just a half smoked joint. Great. Okay.
Yeah. But the Pentagon.
Okay. So you tell me about it, because I just like scrolled through it on Twitter and kind of didn't pay much attention to it. And I think that's what you're saying is like the issue, right?
Well, the issue for me is there's 3 issues. There's 9.
There's so many issues. There's so many issues. We can't get to all of them today.
I don't. Obviously, everyone doesn't care about aliens because corona, right? Which is a huge problem in itself.
Yeah.
But I think like the bigger question, because I've always known there was aliens and UFOs, so I don't feel surprised. I don't feel any kind of like knew it. I just always knew in my heart that there was other life out there, you know?
Yeah.
So my big problem is like, why did the Pentagon do this apropos of nothing right now?
Why did they release this footage confirming that there was an alien sighting relatively recently and they have it on tape?
Yes.
To distract from something else nefarious that's going on.
Yeah, what's going on right now?
I don't know.
All of it?
I mean, so many things. We can't know what's happening.
Like
because there's like the water is muddy right now. There's so much fucking shit going on. Like the fact that Trump is still president after that entire like bleach disinfectant situation, the fact that like people are kind of trying to like make apologies for him, like Dr. Birx or whatever his name is, she's like, he was just trying to digest the information in, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about? People are insane right now. Nobody's telling any clear truth apart from, you know, a few like scientists and doctors, but everything's just muddy all the time right now. So I think it's just, you know,
so was the
continuing
Pentagon
to muddy
like,
the water.
Yeah. But do you think it was a distraction, or do you think that the world is going to be over and they're just like, fuck it, yo, all secrets, let's drop banger after banger until we burn out? Because I feel like there's some deep stuff that they're just sitting on waiting to hatch.
I don't know. Oh, hang on a second.
I feel like I'm right. Was that God?
was
that
God
saying that
us?
I'm right?
Hang on a second. I got to turn off my damn text messages here. Sorry about that.
I feel like I earned an angel point.
Yeah,
like,
that was
was pretty great.
Ding.
Hey, thank you up there or around here, all of it. Thank you around me.
Super crazy. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never been a conspiracy theorist. I've never liked conspiracy theories because they just seem so fucking insane and unhinged to me. And occasionally there's one, you know, that you're like, well, of course, you know, the whole truth about JFK's assassination has never been known. And it was, you know, definitely a conspiracy of some kind. And it was like, you know, there's shadowy things at play and all of that kind of stuff. There are certain ones where you're like, they're not telling the whole truth. But in general, I don't want to jump on the like conspiracy theory bandwagon. But right now, like something is afoot and they are trying to distract us. And I don't know if that's just like a complete authoritarian world takeover by right-wing leaders, which, you know, we can kind of see happening, or
they do it in public so that there's no denying it when it happens,
right? Or, you know, if it's like that they know that there's a meteor that's going to hit the earth and they're not telling us that, or
they would never tell us. They brag about ones that miss us after they missed us,
right?
Yeah,
so I don't know shit's fucked up and weird and
it's
crazy.
Yeah, I just like, I mean, yeah, everything's, but what am I trying to say? I mean, are the aliens going to get me my $1,200?
Yeah, I still haven't got my goddamn check. I don't know. Let's talk about the aliens for a minute.
Okay.
So these videos that are on Twitter are from military aircraft that recorded these like fast moving objects. And then the people who were flying in that aircraft, they've also been like deposed and like publicly have acknowledged like what they saw. And then, you know, the whole thing was dropped by the Pentagon to basically just say to everyone, like, this happened.
Can I hit you with a weird, twisty conspiracy theory?
Sure.
That you're filling my brain with it right now.
Okay, I'm just recapping what I know. So.
Okay. What if the Pentagon dropped those videos and they are actually videos of technology we have for our military and arms race, because there is a war that is coming, and so in a way of framing it as aliens and unidentified, what really the Pentagon was doing was showing a video to world leaders across the globe that we have crazy mad technology that they don't have, so you better not fuck with us and we might be coming for you. And the whole thing was like a fucking, you know, high key signal, sound the alarm to the rest of
But like on Twitter, there are better channels to let other world leaders know that you have shit in your back pocket than like putting something on Twitter.
I don't think so, because mainstream media is so divided. Like, I don't watch CBS. I don't watch the show Mom.
No, you
I
can
watch
just like
my 9
email
channels.
it to someone and be like, "Yo, what's up, Kim Jong Un?
Oh, yeah.
Look at this fucking mad cool technology that we're gonna kick your ass with if you fuck with us." Like,
that is an
you need to put
email.
that shit
You
on
do hit
Twitter,
that email.
you know, or Signal or whatever the fuck.
You think
you know?
You think Trump and everyone has a WhatsApp?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually just getting into all of these. I had a very cool conversation with someone who works in the black market in New York today, entirely through Signal, because I was researching an article that I'm writing, and it was like, oh, these apps are like, yeah, that's WhatsApp.
That's legit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Encrypted and it all disappears.
Yeah,
Give
there's
it to
no way
me.
to track it. It's very fucking cool. So I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't put it on Twitter as a way of announcing to the world that they have cool technology. So I do feel like, I mean, there is definitely something alien about it, right?
Yeah, there is.
Like when you look at the way it moves and the way that the pilots of the aircraft are talking about it, and then you see
That was the
Anderson
part that was
Cooper
like, yo.
geeking out about it. Did you see Anderson Cooper's segment?
I didn't see Cooper.
I think it was Cooper talking to Cuomo, and they were both like, well, there's aliens, I guess. And then Anderson starts like giggling. He's like, oh, like it was just great. They're like tickled by it and not worried about
Wow.
it. Do you think we should be worried?
Oh, I think we should be worried more about the fact that they dropped it than we should be worried about the aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the aliens, you know, especially with that kind of technology, if they were going to do anything nefarious or terrible, they could have already. So,
Do you believe that the Pentagon and places like that hack into celebrities' iClouds to scour for naked pictures to drop when there's like a school shooting or something, that we need some like naughty entertainment to sway us and forget about something tragic?
that's a conspiracy theory that I've never bought into. Like the fappening when Jennifer Lawrence and all of those
Yes,
celebs were hacked.
yes.
Was there something going on at that time, though?
Do you? Well, I think the fact that you know what the fappening is, but you suspect of it, is pretty cool and interesting.
I mean, I just remember, you know, all of these celebs just being like, what the fuck? Like, what, you know, Jennifer Lawrence having to sort of like publicly say, yes, I took those pictures and that they weren't for public consumption, and now I have to like sue some idiot in a basement somewhere, and gross. Don't do that. But I don't remember it being like a cover up to distract from something else at all.
I just love to see connections maybe when there are no connections.
Well, that's the thing about conspiracy theories, actually, is that they are a way to make sense of chaos, right? And that's why people embrace them. And that's why, you know, the 5G theory, or, you know, the fact that like Corona was invented in a lab, or any of these things. It's like, you know, people trying to make sense of the terrible chaos that we experience in life just as humans. And that's why I don't buy it, because in order to believe like in a whole, you know, global fucking conspiracy to do fucking anything, like, you know, Trump can barely fucking read, like, let alone, you know, like collaborate with some like shadowy, you know, group of people to like make shit happen internationally. It's just, you know.
You just regressed me so fucking hard in my imagination to when I was a little kid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I remember as a little kid just being that kid who goes, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And I feel like conspiracy theories for me are my childlike self just going, why, and needing a final fucking answer on all those whys.
Yeah, you need to make sense of shit.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
I hate chaos so much, even though I feel like I thrive in it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it so much when it comes to the rest of the world.
It wasn't a conspiracy theory so much as a, well, I guess it was a conspiracy theory. I just listened to, what was it called? The episode, the podcast about Satanic Panic.
Oh my gosh, the one that
with
My
you,
Favorite
right?
Murder recommended.
Conviction,
yeah.
Satanic Panic. Season 2 is on Spotify. Fascinating. 8 episodes. They're like 20, 25 minutes each. And it was explaining the Satanic Panic, which I grew up with during the 80s, which was not a conspiracy so much as just like a fear, like a paranoia that swept the nation, and people did jail time for satanic rituals that they were.
There was a winking anus, right?
Oh God,
like crazy,
just insane.
In
People just
terms
like
that they grasped onto, where it's like the winking anus, and everyone's like, "Yep, science, that's a fact."
Yep. It's just people just. Yeah, like it's like the Salem witch trials, that kind of thing, where it's all of a sudden like a mass hysteria based on, you know, one fear-based thing, and then, you know, everyone gets swept up in it, and it's horrifying. So great fucking podcast. Highly recommend.
Yeah. How about a joy-based frenzy?
Okay.
How do we do one of those?
I know.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Instead of a fear-based one?
Let's share some of these like
Can I share my butt of the week?
Yeah.
It's my mom, Wendy Glazer.
What's up, Wendy?
What up, Wendy?
Yeah.
We were having a good conversation. She's quarantined with my dad, Steve, in St. Louis, and she mailed a really nice list that she labeled as positive thoughts, and she found all these positive thoughts in magazines and cut them out and then sent it to us so that we have positive thoughts at all times as we're doing a stay home.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that, man. Like,
Can I read too?
Yes, please.
Okay, because there's like good shit in here. Shout out Wendy Glazer. I mean, she starts it off with like, believe you can and you're halfway there. And life isn't a matter of milestones, but of moments. And
That's so true right now, especially more than ever.
Ooh.
Like I'm trying so hard to just stay in the day and not think ahead and not think about, what I'm going to be doing in a month from now, but just, what does today look like? That's so important.
Is it helping you hold on to reality and charge ahead?
It's helping me just not panic and not feel the anxiety that kind of can flood in sometimes when you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to anything that I've worked so hard to build, Yeah, that's an important one.
Yo, to piggyback on that one, the other one Wendy put on here is you are so much more than what you are going through.
Yeah.
Yo, what?
That's hugely important to remember. That's really cool.
This is amazing. So I just wanted to shout out a bud of the week.
Yeah.
Who I grew feet inside.
That's so creepy, man.
I know she's going to listen to this, so I had to end strong.
Yeah. Of course. So when I saw that, I wanted to pull out this really cool thing that my friend Nicole gave me. I don't know if I've ever showed you this, but so my friend Nicole and I met in Seattle in 2001. Doing a play there, and then she moved to New York and I moved to New York shortly thereafter, and we'd like made work together and we were like creative and collaborative partners and everything, and so I was really sad to miss her when she was moving to New York. And the last day I saw her before she moved to New York, she gave me this. So it's this like little genie glass bottle, and inside it is this scroll, and she just handed it to me and she was like, don't open it until you need it, but this is just something that I made for you. And I didn't open it ever until she passed away. She was killed in 2005, and I missed her terribly, terribly, terribly. And she, when I thought about just like remembering her and going through all the things, I was like, oh my God, I have that message from her. So I opened this, and it says, believe in yourself like I believe in you. Sending you lots of groovy love vibes. Have faith and listen to yourself. With love, Nicole.
Damn.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Have faith and listen to yourself.
Yeah, like just, a true friend telling me like, I believe in you and just believe in yourself. So just passing that on to anyone who needs to hear it. Like you have what you need inside you. And you can, that's beautiful. Yeah, you can.
Also, you got a magic scroll from your best friend.
I got a magic fucking scroll, and I keep it in a very safe place, dear to my heart. And I look at it sometimes and just think, yeah, I do. I tried really hard to believe in myself like she believed in me.
That's fucking it. Damn, y'all. We went from like heavy, dark, fucked up shit in the beginning to right where I want to be for this guest.
Yeah.
Like, talk about believing in yourself full steam ahead, not looking back, and being exactly who you are. Christina Wong is the epitome of that to me.
Yeah, she's built her life in exactly the direction she wanted to go in, and now she's making magic with chickens and like Seville oranges and winning pie contests.
Yes.
She's winning pie contests with her magical pies. And we got a tour of her compound in Highland Park where she has chickens and like makes amazing food with all of the things she grows.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We met chickens.
We met 4 chickens.
And we have a new friend in Christina.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
You ready? Do you want to get into it?
Yes, I'm so ready.
All right, everybody, have beautiful fucking weeks. Here is our interview with
Christina Wong.
What up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
Yo, what a delicious Tuesday evening.
It is. It's magic hour in more ways than one.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Can you introduce yourself and say a little about who you are and what you be and all about your chickens, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Christina. I'm at Baking with Chickens on Instagram and YouTube. And I am just a kind of a hobbyist baker. My background is in doing food and restaurant PR. And then I started working in cannabis as well. So then I started getting really into baking and cooking with cannabis. And my pie won the KCRW Pie Pageant for the Prettiest Pie Award. And here we are. And we're now talking weed and food, my favorite subjects.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I have chickens in my backyard. I live in Highland Park. I happen to have the space. I've wanted them for so long. And then I also have a garden, and then we also have a chicken shit bingo board. So we'll occasionally have chicken shit bingo parties at my house as well.
Now, what is chicken shit bingo, please?
So it's I have a board, and it's painted so that the board looks like a bingo card. And I have like a jar with like little balls that have the numbers written on it. And you put the chickens on the board, and then you just wait for one to shit on your number, and you win.
This sounds like just about the best thing you could possibly do to like get high and just watch chickens poop on a board. It sounds like ideal.
100%. Yeah, you've never lived till you've seen grown-ass adults like sitting there waving things at chickens trying to get them to shit.
Yeah, like are they yelling B1, B1 at like Razzleberry? I think it's a
Yeah, like they're like, so I'll give people like treats or things that they can kind of like drop, so they'll try to like lure the chickens over towards the number, but like you can't predict when a chicken's gonna shit. The chicken's gonna shit whenever it feels like it.
Did you grow up with chickens? Like what is your background? Are you from, where are you from?
Yeah,
Where did you like?
I did not grow up with chickens. I grew up in Orange County in like the Dana Point area, so very, very fancy, very protected, and bored as hell. And so I had to get the hell out of Dodge. And so I did not grow up with chickens. My mom did not allow us to have pets. The most I was allowed was some turtles and parakeets. And, you know, those aren't really like fun, cuddly pets. So now as an adult, I'm like, I can have whatever I want. I can live my own life. So I have dogs, 1 dog, 2 cats, and 4 chickens. So I was a brand new chicken owner. I've only had them for about 3 years. And I just had this idea. I did a ton of research. I thought I knew everything. I ended up meeting somebody who needed to get rid of some chickens. So we built a coop, got the chickens, and then I learned that there's so much more that I really didn't know about them. Like when things are, like they're really easy to keep until things go wrong and you don't know what to do. And then it just kind of becomes a whole thing. But now that I've learned, now I have a whole chicken community that I go and get questions and answers from. But yeah, like they've really taken over our lives in a way that we didn't expect. Like I just got them because I was like, I want fresh eggs. And then they had cute little personalities, they become pets. And then I started baking using their eggs because they lay so many eggs. And then this whole channel grew out of them and how awesome they are. And I just found that so many people I talk to and so many of my friends just aren't connected to where their food comes from. Like they had so many questions about like eggs and chickens and where they came from. And because, you know, I worked in restaurants, I worked for Tender Greens for a very long time. I helped grow them. And so I really, you know, I knew a lot about food. And so it became an opportunity to educate and teach about, you know, where your eggs come from and what it's like to keep chickens, especially in an urban space like LA, and, you know, them as creatures and then baking with it. So my blog, my YouTube, my Instagram is filled with like nerdy chicken facts and weird things. I call it Weirdly Wonderful, and it's just me being weird and enjoying life and just not caring.
I learned a fact from your Instagram page, actually, about eggshells and how versatile and important they are. And I've been eating a soft scramble my whole life and throwing away that shell. And I didn't know that you can use it for so many other important things in your life.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I think about how many eggshells I've thrown away in my life, and I feel terrible. Like they can be used in the garden. They can be used to sharpen your knives, plant seedlings. Like I feed them back to my chickens so that they get more calcium. I mean, it sounds weird and gross, but like that's just the thing you do.
Wow. How do you sharpen a knife using an eggshell? That seems like impossible.
So like the blades. So sorry, I meant you sharpen like blades in your blender or like your food processor. So you put like the crushed eggshells in with some water, and then you just turn it on, and the eggshells will sharpen the blades.
Oh, that's wild.
So dope. Because like as much hummus and dip and like dumb romesco as I make, like it's got to be time to sharpen those Cuisinart blades.
Yeah. You know the coolest thing I learned? Actually, I didn't even know this until I started Googling it, and I learned, so like, you know that the thin little membrane between like the egg shell, like after you crack it, there's like that thin little piece. So you can, so when it's wet still, you can take that off and it can be used as like a quick stand-in Band-Aid.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if you have like a small cut, like just rinse it off, put it on your cut, and then it has like these antimicrobial properties, and it also promotes healing and scarring. So you can put it on, it'll dry on your skin and get hard like a Band-Aid. And then like in a pinch, it could totally work. And I'm like, this is amazing. So like this is the kind of info I love, because in the case of a zombie apocalypse, like I would know what to do with all of this.
Yeah, you're going to be the person that everyone's coming to be like, you have the food, you have the first aid, you're a great baker, you have the weed.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. Oh man. Should we? I mean, speaking of baker, I feel like this pie is important. We got to get into this.
We got to talk about the
pie
because listen, when Mike, I just heard a shout and I came running and I was like, "What?" And Mike was like, "Look at this fucking pie that won the KCRW pie making contest." And I looked and then I screamed because it's so freaking beautiful.
Can we do a screen share of
Oh
it
yeah,
while we talk about it?
Yes, let me show. Hang on a second. I've got it right here. I don't know if you can see.
For everybody who watches the Zoom,
watching it.
we're going to screen share.
Oh,
There it is.
Look at this
in
thing.
all its lacy calligraphic glory. I mean, what was your...
Beautiful.
How did you make this? It's magical.
Yeah, so the instructions are on my blog on bakingwithchickens.com if you want to follow along and make it yourself. But it's really a twist on a lemon meringue pie. So it's a Seville sour orange marmalade pie. So if you're a marmalade fan, that's really where the inspiration for this pie came from, because I have a Seville orange tree outside in my front yard that has sour. They're so sour, like you can't eat them and they're horrible, and like they're only good for marmalade and like marinating meat for like cochinita pibil, and that's about it. And like maybe making some cleaning supplies.
Wow.
But like this tree is prolific and we can never use enough of them. So we were just staring at it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? And so I made so much marmalade and I was like, okay, like I want to do like some kind of a layer on it. So I basically started with Chris Morocco's recipe for lemon meringue pie that's on Bon Appetit, because like
It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
his pie is so insane. Like the meringue is like perfect. It's a perfect texture, and I've made that pie before and I loved it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start with that as a base.
Christina, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do want to ask you, what are your Chris Morocco opinions as we break down this pie? Because mine have changed since I've seen him in quarantine with his kids.
You know, I'm gonna be super honest. I don't know enough about him to have a very strong opinion.
Okay.
I just like,
in that case, my apologies for derailing a beautiful pie conversation.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know him enough. I haven't followed him as a personality enough to really have a strong opinion.
He's like extremely specific about noise and like taste. You know, when he does his blind tastings, like he can't taste things if he can't hear correctly. He's like very, very, very sort of like... Yeah, he needs a lot of things to be perfect, and I think it's why he makes perfect pies.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, okay, so we'll come back to the pie. We're going to go circuitous route. So I wanted to mention something because you mentioned how he has to be very precise. And so one of the reasons why I started baking with chickens and I really wanted to kind of like put my voice out there is because so often people say, I'm not a good baker, right? And I said this my entire life. I'd say this to myself, like, I'm not a good baker because I'm not precise. I don't like to measure. I'm a better cook than I'm a baker because like things fuck up. And that would happen to me constantly. Like I'm still not precise. I make so many mistakes. But like that's part of the fun. It's part of making mistakes. And like, so you guys are like oohing and awing over my pie, but like there's so many mistakes in there that you don't see. And what I love is that this pie that's filled with mistakes actually won prettiest pie. Like my pie crust slumped because I forgot to like freeze it before I blind baked it. There's fissures underneath because I didn't wait for it I wasn't patient enough to wait for it to cool before I poured the marmalade layer. So it's like there's so many mistakes, but like that's the fun part. And like it's all about encouraging people to just be okay with making mistakes, because that's how we learn. And I feel like we're kind of in this world, especially on Instagram, where like everything has to be picture perfect and we're afraid to make mistakes because we have to get it right the first time. And like that's just not how you learn. That's not how you get better. That's not how we grow as people and human beings. So that was a good point about Chris Morocco. I mean, like,
and it's an art too. Like I think that like the beauty of what you're saying is that it's an art form and there is no perfect art. It's a form of self-expression and you can't get it right. It's just who you are and what you put into it. And so instead of trying to make a perfect pie, you're making a pie that expresses who you are and what you're able to do with that form.
Yes, exactly. Okay, back into the pie. So it was a Chris Morocco.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so it was a Chris Morocco lemon meringue from Bon Appetit. So I substituted the lemon juice in the curd with sour. So I basically, instead of lemons, I used these sour, bitter oranges that I have from my tree. And you can buy Seville oranges probably from your farmer's market. They're probably harder to find, but if you ask around, you could probably find it. Or ask a neighbor. A lot of people have sour orange trees around Los Angeles. And so just the juice, zest, and then cooked it like I normally would. And I made a marmalade from scratch using David Leibovitz's Seville orange marmalade recipe. So it's just sugar and orange rinds and water, and that's it. So I don't use pectin. Yeah, I don't use pectin in any of my marmalade. I like the texture better when it's just all sugar. I used up an entire bag of sugar to make the marmalade in this pie.
Yes, that's awesome.
It's terrifying how much sugar went into this. But yeah, so it was just basically lemon meringue, and then the twist I did was I poured the marmalade layer on top and let that chill and harden, and then piped all of the meringue. So the meringue I made, and then I just put it in a piping bag and used the different types of tips to like make the pretty pattern, and then torched it because it looks, yeah, the torching part with fire is really the best part, most fun part of this entire experience. And eating it, of course.
It's incredible. I wonder if like you couldn't get Seville oranges, if you could do like grapefruit or any other like sour citrus to make it happen for anyone listening who might not have access to Seville oranges.
Yeah, any sour citrus would absolutely work. You could do lemon and do the same thing. Just make a lemon rind marmalade. So a marmalade is basically you take the rinds of any citrus, you scrape out the white pith, chop it, and you cook the shit out of it for like 4 to 5 hours with sugar and some water, and it'll get it really soft. So you could absolutely remake this pie with any sour citrus. That'd be kind of fun. Blood oranges, grapefruits.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Would you do a lime? Is lime good in a marmalade, or is that too kind of
I've never made a
weird
lime marmalade, but that could be interesting.
On the pie tip, I was watching pie videos preparing for this today, and I saw one for a clear lemon meringue pie.
I saw
where
that.
Have you seen a clear pie? It's crazy looking. Mary Jane, I'll pull up. I took a picture.
Okay.
Have you sorry.
I
it's
saw
amazing.
it was like a couple
Look at this.
Thanksgivings ago. This was like the big popular thing that was going around because there was like the clear Jello pumpkin pie looking thing.
Yeah, clear pie. What the fuck?
That's crazy. It's futuristic. I don't know if I would want to order that slice of pie. It doesn't look that, it's beautiful, but it's sort of like not appetizing looking to me. Like I love the color and swirl of the fruit, you know? Yeah, it's like that's like an off-white pie. Like
a Virgil Abloh pie.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Have you baked? Oh, I was going to ask, have you baked, are you infusing pies at all? Have you done some
I have not
cannabis
infused
pies?
but after you messaged me, I was thinking about it, and I was like, how would I infuse it? Because I was also looking into how to make infused like jams and marmalades, and all the recipes I read online were saying just like put infused honey into your finished product, and I was like, okay, that could work, but that's sort of a cheat. I'm not really infusing it, right? So I don't know how I would do it.
I think you would want to infuse your sugar. There's like cannabis sugar that you can make. Green Dragon is the sort of old school version, but there's also like cannabis simple syrup, where I think the recipe that I've read most recently was just cannabis, water, sugar, and a little bit of glycerin maybe to sort of like hold it together. But I'm sure you don't need the glycerin even.
Yeah, I mean, there's all different ways to cook with it, right? And it's like you could just order the powder and put it in, like isolate, distillate. That's one way to do it, which, I don't know. Being from Papa and Barkley, I'm a whole plant convert, so I'm all about whole plants and trying to figure out how can I actually use the flour and infuse that instead of buying a distillate or an isolate.
So you went from tender greens to working with Papa and Barkley. What was that shift like?
It was, Papa, okay, so Tender Greens, for those who don't know, is a fast casual restaurant. They like to call themselves, it's fine casual restaurant chain of like healthier food, you know, so there's
Like you can get a glass of wine.
yeah, it's a glass of wine, but you can also get these big salads, and you can also get a plate of like sustainably sourced meat with mashed potatoes and like roasted vegetables. So it's like your grandma's cooking, but made by chefs and affordable and super high quality, sourced from farmers.
Oh my
So-
gosh, you are so good at PR. Holy cow.
These talking points for years, you guys, talking points for years. And so I grew Tender Greens from, you know, they started with 2 restaurants, and I grew them to 30 restaurants and opened their first location in New York. And it was really exciting. It was really fun, but it was all about how they work with local farmers and source. And it's all about, it's not, you know, USDA label organic. It's organically grown, using regenerative soil and growing practices and that type of relationship. And so when I left Tender Greens, I was thinking about where I wanted to work next, what I wanted to do. And in my mind, I was like, man, I'd love to work in cannabis. It's an exciting new industry. I'm the type of person who, you know, for my job, for my career, I love helping entrepreneurs grow their next idea and take them to the next level. And so cannabis was really a great place for that. And I came across Papa and Barkley, and I knew they had a great reputation. And what I found was they were like, to me, they were like the Tender Greens of cannabis. Their philosophy, the way that they partner with their local farmers who grow their flower and their cannabis, is exactly the same philosophy that we had at Tender Greens. So it was really a natural transition from the food world into talking about cannabis and cannabis sourcing and whole plant and what that means in solventless with Papa and Barkley. So it was really, really fun and really exciting. And it, you know, I'm like I was talking to the farmers, and they're kind of using, you know, they're using that cannabis slang that I wasn't familiar with yet. And I was like, what? I was like listening to them talk, and they're like the terps and this, and I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. So I just had to translate it, and because of Papa and Barkley, you know, I was trying to find a way to talk about cannabis with maybe people who weren't familiar with the industry or who were new. It's like talking to your parents or your grandparents about it. So for me, going in with a fresh perspective was really helpful and beneficial for my work and kind of talking to people and journalists as well.
Do you hear that cracking?
I do hear a little bit of a crackle. Yeah, I think your headphones are maybe.
Is that me?
Oh, as long as the lava is good, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Well, my dog is being very bad and barking right now because he wants to.
Oh,
be
that's
let
better.
out. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Wait, what kind of dog are we talking about?
Yeah.
He's a pit bull mix.
Oh, a sweet rescue.
Yeah, he's a rescue. He's very sweet. He loves eating chicken poo like it's Pez candy.
Is that good for him? Like, does it help his digestion?
No, it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. I know everybody always asks me, they're like, does your dog get along with the chickens? I'm like, oh, he loves the chickens. They're like, you're not worried he's going to eat them? I'm like, no, they're like little live feathered Pez dispensers who poop candy for him. Like, it's so disgusting. And then like, so he would break into the chicken coop area, like hoover up and snarf up all their poo. And then we wouldn't know because he would only do it like, and he'd hide from us. And then at night he would start hotboxing us with his gnarly farts. It was horrible. So gross.
Oh my God. Okay, this is a great transition because farts. I learned from your amazing website about fart eggs. So this is perfect because I want you to talk about this. I had never heard of this phenomenon.
Fart eggs, yes. So I like to call them fart eggs because they're funnier. So fart eggs they're called like diminutive eggs, and they're just like these weird little anomalies that happen. So most of you go to the grocery store, you buy your grocery store eggs, and they're like large or medium, and like that's what eggs normally are. And then there's like fart eggs are these little mistake eggs. They're like oops, right? It's where a piece of reproductive tissue in the chicken's body is mistaken for an egg, and then it makes a little shell around it, and it comes out, and it's just teeny tiny compared to the normal sized eggs that chicken would lay. And they're also called fairy eggs, wind eggs, dwarf eggs, cock eggs. So back in the day, people thought that they were laid by roosters, and that's why they're called cock eggs, and they thought it was the work of the devil because there was no way that this could happen. And so the superstition was that if you had a cock egg and it was incubated by a toad or a snake, this monster called a cockatrice would hatch, and bring a reign of terror upon you in your house. Something like that. And you have to like throw the fart egg over your house without breaking it to get rid of it. But they're perfectly normal. So a fart egg is just a tiny egg, and it either has just egg whites or just an egg yolk. Or once in a while, it could be just a whole teeny tiny mini egg. So I've gotten 2. My first one had just a yolk. And then the second one that we just got had a tiny little mini egg, and I was so delighted that
I'm gonna
it had a
show.
tiny egg.
Oh yeah.
I have a picture of your tiny fart egg here that I wanted to share too, because it's with the here we go, all 3 of them in a row there. So that's like a normal kind of weird oblong egg that you had at the bottom, and then a medium egg, and then the tiny fart egg at the top. It's just so tiny.
It was so cute. And yeah, and everyone's like, well, what did you do with it? And I was like, I fried it and I ate it on some toast. Like, you can't waste eggs.
Even a fart egg needs to be loved.
I also love that moment in the video where you were cracking those eggs. It was like another like kind of moment of like joyous imperfection where you cracked the egg and then it kind of missed the bowl, but it was like this just great moment where I was like, oh, you're so fun to watch, because mistakes become a moment that, you know, is just like a great thing that we can all delight in together. Like, oh, nothing ever goes as you intended. Like, you can also rescue that egg perfectly and still fry it up and eat it.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of like life though? It just doesn't go perfectly. It doesn't go the way that you want it to go. Shit happens, and you scoop yourself up, you pick yourself up again, and you just keep on baking, or you keep on eating, you keep on working and doing your thing and finding your passion.
I mean, that's it. Especially now, my God. I mean, we're all in a place where we just need to find all of the joyous moments that we possibly can, and like fart eggs and awesome pies and, you know, chickens with fun names. Can you talk a little bit about your chickens themselves? They have personalities and names. Yeah.
Do you guys want to go see the chickens?
Yes.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I can go. I thought about this already. Okay, we're gonna go see the chickens. My video might cut out for a little bit as it like reconnects, but it should work in theory. Okay.
This is so exciting. Last week we met a duck. This week we're meeting chickens.
Yeah,
oh
this is a first for our podcast, though, to actually go on a journey with a pod guest as they, you know, as you're walking.
Oh, you want to see my little cannabis plant I'm trying to grow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
she's beautiful.
Yeah. So this is Maggie. She's kind of runty, and I don't know what to do. I'm terrible at growing things. I don't think we get enough sun. She needs more nutrients, but she's not dead.
I mean, she looks like she's nice and healthy, like bright green, and, you know, no spots on the leaves or anything.
Oh, good. Yeah, she's just a little runty. That's okay. She'll still be loved.
Yeah. There's a whole Peanuts Christmas cartoon about the little runty one.
Oh, yeah.
But so, you know, it's a famous tree. Did you paint all of this too? I love how colorful your whole home is. It's blues and greens and teals.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. You know, it's like being an adult. I can do whatever I want. This is like our adult treehouse of fun.
Oh my God, it's so magical. What a magical compound. I bet your friends all feel really lucky all the time.
Hey, wait, what are you doing? You're
I hear them.
supposed to be over there. Oh, chickens. Chickens.
I'm
What
like
do you
waving
guys-
at it like it can see me. So which one was that one?
So,
Would you
okay.
mind letting us
So,
know who's who?
Here we go. Okay, so this one is Fizzleberry. She is number 3 on the chicken pecking order. She lays kind of like light bluish green eggs, and she's a breed called an Easter egger, and they have little beards. They're funny. So like whenever people look at like all of these pretty photos of eggs and they're like pastel rainbow colors, they're usually from a breed called an Easter egger. So they just lay they're kind of like little mutts of the chicken world, and they lay like all sorts of different colors.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so when where'd she go? So she's kind of doing this where like she's doing a squat. So they usually squat like that for roosters, but it's like a submissive. So I can usually catch them and pick them up that way. And this one here who's causing trouble, we'll come back to her later. My goodness. That's Butterberry. She gets beat up. Poor thing. So she's so like a chicken, there's a pecking order. So like, you know, the term pecking order comes from chickens, and it's a very real thing. So like there's a number 1 chicken who's the boss, and then like number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and so on, based on how many chickens you have. And it's like, that's like their power structure.
Wow.
This one is Lady Olgaberry. She is named after the famous bearded lady from Ringling Brothers Circus, Lady Olga, because she has the most magnificent beard. But she is a brutal dictator, and she is not a good leader, and she almost tried to eat her best friend.
Whoa.
Dang.
Ruthless chicken.
Yeah, she's very ruthless, but she's an Americana. She lays like little tiny blue eggs. It's very cute. And then this is her best friend, Raspberry. Hey, Raspberry, where are you going? she wandered off.
This would be the best Pixar film in the world,
Absolutely.
right?
Should I pitch it to Disney? See what they
Yes.
Would watch 100%.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, now I can see better. Hey, you guys. Yeah, so Raspberry is the top chicken. She's black and white, so whenever you think of like a chicken, she's kind of like my favorite. She is the best egg layer. She lays like the big pink eggs that I have, and she was the first chicken that I got. And so she and Olgaberry are best friends. It's very cute.
And do you know who laid the fart egg?
The fart egg was Butterberry, the one who's causing troubles back over here in my garden. So like I had to there she is. Yeah, see, so I put this up so that she couldn't get in my garden, and she found a way to hop over there and destroy all my stuff. What are you doing?
She's a renegade.
Yeah, so that's Butterberry. Yeah, so all my chickens are like something berry, and I can't explain why. It just sort of happened, and it just stuck. So there's Raspberry, Lady Olgaberry, Fizzleberry, and she's Butterberry. And one day, my dream is to have a silky, like one of those weird fluffy white ones named Snozberry.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, that's so perfect.
That's so good.
Yeah, because you do have your own little chocolate factory over there. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one day, I'm saving that one. One day there will be a Snozberry.
Can you taste the difference in their eggs, chicken to chicken?
No. I mean, it just tastes like an egg. There isn't really, I don't taste the difference. I mean, I know the difference between their eggs based on looks. Oh, we should check. Look, hey, let's check for some eggs.
Oh my gosh. Live egg check. This is the best.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You guys
Make a
want to take
Twitch
bets?
stream.
How many eggs do you think will be in here?
Ooh, this is fun. Okay, I'm gonna say 3.
Oh, I was going to say 3.
Okay, I'll say 6.
Okay.
I only have 4 chickens.
I don't know how eggs work.
3.
Oh, yeah, we were both right. We were both going to say 3. That's so amazing. And they're
job.
beautiful colors.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah,
Wow.
so this pink one here is Raspberry, the black and white chicken. This one is Lady Olgaberry because it's like that small oblong size. I just know she has little eggs. And then that one's Fizzleberry.
What do they eat? What do you feed them?
So they eat here, I'm going to flip it back to me. Whew, okay. So they just eat like a layer feed that I get for them. I just buy chicken food for them at the store. But otherwise, like they just run around and forage and eat bugs and plants. So chickens are technically omnivores. They would like to eat bugs. So if you get chickens that eat bugs and like dark leafy greens, like they were designed to eat grass. That's pretty much what, like grass and bugs. And the more grass and bugs they eat, the better quality eggs you'll get. That's when you get like that golden yolk color is when the chickens get good nutrition. So if you go to the grocery store and you see on the label, like the package of eggs, it says vegetarian fed. That doesn't really make sense because chickens aren't vegetarians. Like they actually really like meat. Like if I give them some pork or chicken, like they'll eat it.
Do they crow in the morning? That's just roosters, right?
That's just roosters, yes. So hens are the female chickens, roosters are male chickens, and they do not, so hens do not need a rooster to lay an egg. Like they're just gonna lay an egg normal no matter what. It's kind of like women and periods. An egg is basically a chicken period is what you're eating. I know it's really gross, but that's just the truth and I'm gonna say it.
I mean, I've gone down on
I'm into it.
girls who are on their period. I don't mind. It's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, you're eating a chicken period.
You know?
Yeah. But it's, they don't need, oh, here you go. Hi. So they don't need a rooster to lay an egg. Like they're going to lay an egg regardless. It's just unfertilized. So that's the majority of the eggs in the grocery store that you're going to buy and eat are unfertilized. And like they'll go to waste. Like there's not, like chickens might, like they'll just sit there and they'll go rotten, or like sometimes you'll get chickens that will try to eat their own eggs, but like it's highly discouraged. We don't want that. And then so they do not crow. Like the most noise they make is maybe whatever you've been hearing in the background. And they also have something called an egg song.
Oh my God, what is an egg song? That's beautiful.
So after they lay an egg, they're so proud of themselves that they'll come out and they'll like make a ton of noise, and it's just an egg song.
Wow, where they're like, look at what I just did, look at what I just did, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, pretty much running around at the top of their lungs, just like squawking. They're hilarious. They're funny little creatures.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh.
When I'm super proud of myself, I do little dances and sing about it. So what's I know, like, just looking at your website and everything that you have going on, you sort of have like big plans for what's next. Can you talk about what you guys are up to?
Yeah, so I actually left working full time with Papa and Barkley recently to really actually focus on this. I started this when I was between jobs, and I had a lot of fun. People were really liking it. We were starting to grow this YouTube channel, and we're like, like maybe this could turn into something. And so the next plans are we're just making content right now. We're trying to build as much and make as many episodes of like what people like to eat and want to see, and then we'll see where it goes and see what happens. I think we had some inquiries about doing a possible TV show for it, or who knows? Possibilities are endless, and we're just gonna have fun. That's the motto. We're having fun, making stuff, eating, and engaging with people until we'll see what happens with it.
That's so great.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how things always work out. They work out when you let them work out.
Yeah, when you have a great time doing it too. And I just love like all of the, this is the perfect sort of nexus is weed and food and fun and chickens, obviously.
Yeah, did you see there's this huge trend? So with everybody in quarantine, and everyone was panic buying chickens a few weeks ago. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I did
Really?
not hear this. Well, that's probably pretty unfortunate for a lot of those chickens, right? Because people don't really know what they're doing, I imagine.
Yeah, so it was about probably week two or three of kind of all of the stay at home, and eggs were a shortage at the grocery store. So for everybody who's a baker, it's been really hard to source flour, sugar, eggs, and yeast. So when there was a shortage of eggs at the grocery store, people just started panic buying baby chicks. It could be unfortunate because people don't know how to take care of them. They're just buying it, and they're animals and they require attention, and you have to and it's work. So it's they take about 7 months until they start laying eggs from a baby chick. So it's you bought them now, but it's going to take 7 months until you get your first egg. And then what happens when you go back to work in your daily life? Do you have time to take care of them? Chickens only lay eggs for up to about 5 years old. 4 to 5, they kind of go a peak. They peak and then they start laying less eggs, but their lifespan is 8 to 10 years. Yeah, exactly. It's menopause. And
Chicken menopause.
Menopause.
That's great.
Yeah, and so it's they only they'll still keep laying older, but it's just a lot less. So it's what are you going to do with them? Do you keep them as a pet, or do you turn them into soup? And a lot of people turn them over to the shelters, which are really sad too. So it's putting a lot of thought into it. But yeah, it was this huge thing, and the New York Times, Washington Post wrote about people panic buying chickens.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's it must be kind of limited to places like Los Angeles where people are doing that. I don't think people in Manhattan were panic buying chickens. I hope not.
Yeah, for their small studios.
I wonder if people were panic buying bees too, or
I bet you're right.
any other creatures that help produce food.
Oh my goodness, dog.
That's okay. What's your dog's name?
Miles.
Does it have nicknames too?
He has lots of nicknames. Here, Miles, come here. Come here. There you are.
What up, Miles?
Oh, Miles is a
buddy,
good dog.
Hi. Good boy.
Oh,
Want to
man.
say hi? Is this what you imagined was going to happen on this podcast?
I love meeting a dog. It's the best. This is my favorite episode. I have a dog over here. He's asleep right now, but his name is Archie, and he's got a bunch of different nicknames. One of them is Senator Ding Dong. He's also known as Captain Poop and Chew. Yeah, he's got a few names.
What about him? Do you have nicknames?
He's Miles Slobberbomb. Oh my goodness, this dog. So we trained him to ring bells when he wants to go out the door, and now it's just in, out constantly.
That's amazing.
Yep, he's Slobberbomb. Sir Poops a lot.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Do you have, so you've got a fair bit of space there outside. Do you grow vegetables and fruit as well?
Yeah, I do. So we have a garden. We have artichokes, squashes, zucchinis. I have a bunch of fruit trees. There's an avocado tree that Butterberry was under earlier. I grow a lot of mint. There's oranges. And so the cool thing is chicken poop is really good fertilizer.
Are chickens going to save us from the apocalypse?
Look,
it sounds like they might.
If we were in a zombie apocalypse and I could choose one animal to take with me, I would choose a chicken. Because chickens themselves are food. They produce food out of their butts. The food that they produce could then grow into more chickens who can produce even more food. And their poop can be used for fertilizer to grow food. So I would say out of all of the horrible lazy animals of my house, I would choose the chicken.
The chicken's the go-to one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heroes. Oh, this has been so great.
This is awesome. I would love to, in the real world at some point, just meet up and hang out because you just seem so fun and your compound is amazing. I'm inviting myself over.
Will you guys please come over and eat pie and play chicken shit bingo with me?
Yes, I would love that. Yes, please.
Okay.
We'll bring weed.
Dude, could we host a Weed and Grub podcast party? You guys all your fans could come if they're here in LA.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And
yes.
we can do a little potluck kind of a sitch.
Yeah,
Yes,
a potluck.
A potluck.
Oh.
Yeah, a pie luck?
A pie
Ooh.
luck?
Yeah.
This sounds awesome.
Yes, I like it.
Okay.
So good.
Well, everybody heard it here first. Let's go.
Yeah, when we're all allowed to socialize again, chicken shit bingo, pie, and weed party.
It sounds ideal.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
I'm racking my brain on names and a poster. Okay, here we go.
We actually have very good friends called the Tender Friends who host a podcast about chicken tenders and ranking them, and they are also very 420 friendly. So maybe they'll come along too.
Ooh, that would be fun. It's would it be morbid if you're standing in front of the chicken waiting for them to shit while eating chicken tenders?
Whoa.
That's pretty meta.
Yeah, I like it though because it shows the circle of life. It's very, it's deep.
It's you better shit on my number. This is what's going to happen to you.
Oh.
So horrible.
Where can everybody where's the best place to start to find you, and then how can they dive on in?
Yeah, so the best place to start would be my website, bakingwithchickens.com. And from there, you can find my YouTube channel and you can find me on Instagram. You can also check out all of my recipes, blog posts. I don't write my own recipes. I usually like making other people's things. I recently made carrot cake cinnamon rolls. There's a recipe for how to make scallion pancakes that I just posted. And right before I jumped on the phone with you guys, I was writing a new post on how to make a chocolate meringue pie.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh man, we're gonna have so much fun hanging out.
I guess meringues make sense because you've got lots of egg whites.
Yes, I have tons of egg whites that I always need to use up. So I'm always looking for ways to use egg whites and egg yolks and eggs in anything I can.
Before you go, can you give us the best tip to making meringues perfectly? Because I have never succeeded. They're always kind of gluey and not crispy and yummy and light and fluffy.
Oh, crunchy meringues. Okay, so crunchy meringue cookies. There's an episode on my blog post, the Halloween episode, that I make little ghost meringues. Oh my God, I'm glad you brought this up because that episode, I was high off of my gourd film. I only meant to take a little and I took too much tincture and I was stupid high. I know that I'm high and I watch myself on the episode and I can't stop laughing because my eyes are all glazy. But anyway, so I make both egg white meringues and vegan meringues using aquafaba. So you should check that out and you can compare it. But my tip would be, so room temperature egg whites whip up better than cold egg whites. You need the proteins to kind of soften. And then you definitely want to use a cream of tartar, vinegar, or lemon juice to help it stay stiff. And then the third tip would be only make them on a dry day. If you're in if it's humid or if it's wet or it's raining, you're not going to get good meringues because the humidity in the air will soak into it and they will get mushy.
That's fascinating. The chemistry of baking is dependent on what kind of day it is. That's amazing.
Yeah, if you're trying to make macarons, it's the same thing. Macarons, those little French sandwichy cookies that are delicious. And it's the same thing. Like if it's humid, you can't make macarons. They won't turn out right.
Wild. So
This is
good
cool.
to know.
Yeah, you're cool as shit.
You're so fucking cool. It's so good to meet
How are
you.
you guys? This is so fun. I could sit and like
Yeah.
try and talk food all day long.
All fucking day. That's
Good.
what we do.
You're living my dream. Yeah.
Oh, we're all in it together.
Oh,
Thank you
man.
so much for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you. If you want to check us out, we are at Weed and Grub on Instagram, WG at weedandgrub.com, and the Google for our website. And this has been awesome. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Till the
Awesome.
party. Let's do it.
Yeah, till the party. Let's do it.
Yeah, bye, everybody.
Bye.